Billionaires fear the CFPB. Have you ever asked yourself, why do these billionaires fear them? Or have you not even thought that was a question worth you knowing? Well, I'll let you know why and the truth about consumer protection. So, have you ever wondered why some of the richest and most powerful people in the world seem to be terrified of one of the tiny little agencies known as the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau? You can find them at consumerfinance.gov or the CFPB, and it's been shaking up the financial world since its creation. So stick with me on this one, because for the next few minutes, because at the end of this video, I want to give you a freebie, but you'll understand why billionaires hate it so much and why you should care. Why should it even be important to you? So let's start with the basics. The CFPB was created in 2010 during the aftermath of the financial crisis. Its mission is straightforward: to protect you, the consumer, from being taken advantage of by financial giants. So hopefully that makes sense. So basically, consumers are anyone who's buying and selling goods and services in the nation, basically. So that's considered to be a consumer, not to insult your intelligence. But understanding that also lets you know that, hold on, I have some protection. There's some things or entities or codes or laws in place that protects me from businesses as a consumer. Very important. But here's where it gets interesting. The CFPB's watchdog role has cost these companies billions of dollars in fines and refunds, some of which you might have been entitled to. But just knowing that they've costed them billions in fines and fees, and certain people have gotten refunds, ought to let you know that the CFPB may be on your side. And guess who those billions went to? Yep, you, the everyday people who were wrong. So let that sink in for a second. Billions of dollars. That's kind of money that makes billionaires sweat. So in a nutshell, them having to spend more money is putting them in a predicament, and they fear the CFPB because the CFPB is helping them, and not just from a standpoint of helping them get money. I've used the CFPB for clients, and it's helped gotten items removed off their consumer reports and help their scores increase. Very important. So why the CFPB exists? So picture this. In 2008, Wall Street, they partying like it's no tomorrow, handing out bad loans, overcharging fees, selling products that nobody understands. Meanwhile, regular families are losing their homes, their savings, and their hope. So big companies profit and they celebrate. A lot of times the money came from someone else, and they may not feel it or care or seem to be affected by it because it affects someone that they'll never meet in many cases. So they're partying, doing their thing in 2008. Meanwhile, regular families were losing their homes. So the CFPB was born to prevent this madness from happening. And many of you who lived through the 2008 timeframe have stories of how the economy, was not good, how people lost their homes or got foreclosed on, or, different things happened in 2008. But if not, do your research on it. But it also preps you for what could potentially happen in the future, and you know how to avoid it if you see some of the similarities coming about. A lot of times people say history don't repeat itself, but it oftentimes rhyme. I like to say that history isn't identical twins, but it damn sure might be fraternal. They might be cheesy, but I got twins, so that's how I view it. Anyway, it was designed to stand up to the financial titans and say, hey, you can't just do whatever you want. That was the design of it. The design was saying, hey, you just can't do what you want, manipulate people. Then people actually get affected. Some people even lost their lives due to stresses, because monetary issues is bigger than just the money itself. That leads to other stresses and issues in the household, and a lot of times people don't recover from that. So it's important to understand that, and this is why the CFPB was birthed. So let's dive in a little bit deeper. So what exactly does the CFPB do? So here's a quick rundown. Number one, regulation and supervision. They keep banks, lenders, financial companies in check. If someone tries to sneak hidden fees into your loan or trick you with confusing terms, the CFPB is on it. Now, sometimes they may do that, but if you're not aware of it, then you won't know that the CFPB can position you to hold them accountable. So that's what it's all about. Understanding and gaining the education so you can do something about it. That's the purpose of you watching a video like this, or tapping into any content that's teaching you certain things so you know what options are available to you in certain circumstances. Number two, it is about enforcement. This is where the action happens. So when companies break the rules, the CFPB steps in. Since its launch, they've secured over 20 billion in refunds and relief for consumers. Imagine the look on some billionaire CEOs' face when they had to write their check. And I'm not opposed to billionaires or people with money, so this is not a bash to those who are rich. I aspire to have a level of wealth that allows me to help and serve at a high level. And if that's billionaire status, multi-billionaire status, multi-millionaire, whatever that is, absolutely, I aspire for that. But I want to do it the right way, doing good business that doesn't take away or do a disservice to other people. So it's a certain thing known as conscious capitalism. Conscious capitalism means that you're conscious of the end consumer and you're trying to do something for them or sell a product or service that's beneficial to them, not back end detrimental. So it's a whole nother thing. So even though it's targeted or appears to be targeted at billionaires, this is not a knock to anybody with money or millions or billions. This is just holding those accountable who may not have had any accountability. That said, number 3, education. They also provide resources to help you make smarter financial decisions. So think of them as your personal guide in the shady world of finance, basically. It's a lot of nonsense going on, which is why the finances are shifting. You're seeing a lot of shifts if you're paying attention. The crypto world is really shaking up some things as well. If you're not plugged into the crypto world, get into it. If you're in it, dive in deeper, as I am. I'm diving in deeper, getting my 10,000 hours in so I can thoroughly understand the things that are changing that some people are not even aware of. It may seem common to those who've already been in it, but there's so many people who are not even aware of it. And I think it's, they'll end up being in a rude awakening just because they're not paying attention to how things are shifting. But it's, it's good to be educated in this shady world of finances nonetheless. Now, so why do billionaires fear it? Now, here's where it gets juicy. So the billionaires and the financial empires don't like being told what to do. They'll tell you the CFPB is anti-business, have you thinking that, they can't benefit you in any way if you're in business, or that it's stifling innovation. Translation is cutting into their profits. So they might word it a certain way, and be mindful of any time somebody words something, you got to think twice about it. There's so many ways that they know how to frame up dialogue to make it seem like it's beneficial to you. But in all actuality, it might be killing you, literally. Like when you hear terms like Planned Parenthood or my body, my choice, and this ain't got nothing to do with that, but it just, those are the terms that jumped in my mind, because a lot of times people will hear that and they're like, oh, that makes sense. That sounds good. Dig deeper. What is the real purpose of these things? Is it truly beneficial or is it detrimental? Or do you not know and did not realize that this cool term or term that seemed like it was for you was truly against you? So keep that in mind. So they may say something like anti-business, stifling innovation. What does that truly mean? Or is it cutting into their profits? So here's the reality. The CFPB is protecting your wallet, not theirs. When a payday lender tries to trap you in a cycle of debt, the CFPB steps in. When credit card companies charge ridiculous fees, the CFPB steps in and says not today. And really it doesn't happen that easy. It's not like they're just governing every single thing and they know exactly what's going on. But if you're aware of it and you see, hold on, something don't look right, you can cause the CFPB to step in by you going directly through the CFPB to file a complaint. You can do it all online, free, no cost, and you can help move the needle and hold people accountable and kind of have somebody fighting on your side that's bigger than you and in many cases bigger than them. So the irony, these same billionaires who criticize the CFPB have entire teams of lawyers and advisors to protect their money. Meanwhile, the CFPB is often the only thing standing between regular people and financial disaster. So they got lawyers and teams in place to try to protect their money or keep them from being, accountable in certain areas of error that they may have. But the CFPB understands the consumer law, the consumer codes, and can hold them accountable despite their lawyers and, advisors. So public support. Here's the thing. Most people don't realize the CFPB has bipartisan support. That's right. Even in today's divided world, most people agree that consumers need protection. Surveys show that voters, whether they're red, blue, or somewhere in between, value what the CFPB does. So this is bigger than politics, bigger than if you vote red or blue, bigger than if you Democrat, Republican for the most part. This is about something that can benefit you as an individual, and that's really what it boils down to. How can this benefit me? That's what people care about. What's in it for me? And when we boil down what's in it for us, what it is that we care about, what are our concerns, what do we feel will benefit us, If you lay that across the board, many people got some of the same common things that they want out of life, which means that most people are more alike than they are different. And when you understand that, then you understand that sometimes people may be doing things to divide you, when in all actuality, you could have been on the same page, but they know that unity is one of the things that really can bring about change. And sometimes certain entities don't want unity to take place, so they put different divide and conquer tactics in place to make it seem as though we don't want the same things or similar things or have similar values that we can just stand on and settle on that, settle on our commonalities. It doesn't matter about XYZ. Where do we have some common ground? Okay, let's meet there. We don't have to, worry about all of the other things that we may disagree on, as long as it's not detrimental to me, my family, kids, or putting anybody in jeopardy, things of that nature. Then we could settle on the best part. That said, it makes sense, because when it comes to protecting your money, your credit, and your family's future, it's not a political issue. It's personal. Pretty much what I just stated. Now, here's some of the challenges and threats to the CFPB. But this is the scary part. The CFPB is constantly under attack. So sometimes politicians and industry leaders are trying to weaken it or even shut it down entirely, making it seem like they're insignificant when they are applying pressure and speaking up for the people. And there's other entities that have initials that might not be for the people, but they have been, been held in high regard, and they've been doing people, the consumer, individuals, a disservice for a very, very long time. So just something to keep in mind. But why? Because they know the CFPB works. They know it's effective, and they know that as long as it exists, they can't get away with as much. This is why it's so important to stay informed. If the CFPB is weakened, basically, you minimize the access to protection that you have. I'm not of the belief that, no one will be able to protect us as it's stated. But I understand that if you educate yourself, then you save yourself and you be a part of participating in your own rescue. If we have resources like the CFPB, then yes, of course, use them. And if the CFPB didn't exist, then we would use whatever was available. But in this case, the CFPB does exist. And if not, then there are always avenues. There's always a way to get your mission accomplished. That's how I feel. So here's a call to action. What can you do? Start by being informed. Know your rights. Use the resources the CFPB provides. It's free, made for you. And if you feel like you're being mistreated by a financial company, don't just let it slide. File a complaint, as I mentioned before. You can do it through consumerfinance.gov. And when you go through that, you can click start a complaint. It'll allow you to set up an account. And you click the things and the entities. It's really simple that you feel have wronged you, or the entities that you feel have wronged you, and what type of resolve you would want to come from that, and you can get that to work out in your favor in many cases. So the CFPB exists to help people like you fight back at the end of the day. So in conclusion, the CFPB is one of the most important tools that we have to level the playing field between billionaires and everyday people. And not just billionaires. I don't want to just throw that out there, but this is just the people who do bad business that happen to be billionaires. So it's not perfect. Nothing is, but it's made a massive difference. Now that you know the truth, what do you think? Should you be fighting to keep the CFPB strong? Or is it time for a new approach? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I love to hear your take. And if you found this video helpful, hit the like button, share it with somebody else who you feel may benefit, and just let's keep this convo going. And use the CFPB if you felt you've been wronged by entities, businesses, whether Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, I don't care who it is, just, consider using the CFPB or ask questions. And if I have the answer, I'll let you know. If not, I'll point you in the right direction. And do not forget to grab your free credit class from somewhere around this video if you haven't already. Salute. Mr. Smith signing out.